What's up, everybody? I'm Serena, or Bean. I answer to both. So this video is a little strange. I'm deconstructing, like, harshly out of religion. I've been deconstructing out of it for a while, but now I'm, like, officially just understanding, like, not even in the Bible. There's so much there that I'm not okay with. It taught me a lot. So this is like what I mean by deconstructing. It's like I'm very thankful for a lot of the lessons it taught me, because those lessons, I need them right now, because there's a lot of really bad behavior that we have praised in the Bible, and we hold it as doctrine for our entire life. And when you really remove the spiritual stuff on it, because if you really have a relationship with God, then you know your Father, right? And again, I don't know if it's really like a parent type thing. I think that we have the kingdom within us. And I think that the missing books of the Bible have that information for us. And that's why it was removed, is because this story, the things that I have to make excuses about is the bad behavior towards women and children and even other men, and just bad against people. The bad things that are happening in the Bible, we have to make exception, or we have to hold as truth. And God is like, you know me. Is that me? Because this is what's happened. I'm like, that's not God. And let me explain I've always said this. I have never understood why religious people are against gays. I've never understood. It's love, and it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. And I'm like, why is it wrong? Well, because you can't procreate. That's why. Men can't anyway. So this is the patriarchy thing, right? They need a woman to impregnate. But they hate women. These men hate women. My ex hates me. He hated me. Most men hate women. There's going to be some guy on here right now who's like, look at your ugly face, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't have any makeup on. I dried my hair. I don't care. I'm not here to impress guys. I'm here to deconstruct out of Christianity and find my community, because unfortunately, my TikTok is full of my acquaintances and friends, and they're all very hard believers, and I'm done. I can't. I have a relationship with God, and God is not in that Bible. I'm sorry. And if he is, he's the good parts: forgiveness, compassion, loving. Okay, so this is really what's just kind of been the last chunk for me, is the science or the social experiment that's going on TikTok for the last couple weeks, I believe. The baby formula. There was a woman. She's an atheist, by the way. She got a recording of a baby crying. She decided to call churches, and she gets it all on speakerphone, whatever. She records it. She puts the name of the church up and everything else. And so they tell her that they can't help her. She asked for baby formula. She said that she has a 2-month-old baby who has missed a couple feedings because the SNAP benefits were canceled, and her baby needed formula, and she was stressing, and she had nothing. Most of them said no. There was a couple that said yes. The Muslims said yes. The satanic temples said yes. A couple of black churches, and then one very, very, very poor, like probably the poorest church, said yes. And he was like trying to get his shoes on, and she was like, wait, this was a social experiment. They weren't mad at her. They were like, wow, this was real. They thanked her, they were like, wow, this is how you get tested. This was the Lord testing, all the ones that failed, these big old mega churches, got on YouTube, TikTok, streamed their services, and went off on this woman, calling her a witch, calling her the devil, calling her, like seductress and all this crazy shit, all because she caught them not being Christ-like. We can't help. And then what was crazy is one lady recorded this. She was like, the one guy was on his pulpit, and he's like, how many people would help a woman if she showed up here and needed formula? A handful of people raised their hands, but there wasn't very many people in this mega church. And then it was like, wait a minute. She has to show up What would it hurt you? Well, we've been scammed. It's 20, 30 bucks for a baby. So what if you got scammed? It's $30. You live in a, look, all their money is tax-free. This is why the churches need to get taxed. This is because it needs to happen. This is so bad. And all of these churches failed miserably. And it really made me go, I knew it. This is what I've been saying all along. Now this not shade to every church, but you have to understand Jesus is not in the church. Jesus was never in the churches. Jesus didn't go to church. He went into church, he flipped over tables, and he was pissed. And he was mad at the Pharisees. He was angry. He was like, you're running this shit like a business. He was pissed. Do I think Jesus was a real person? Maybe. Maybe. He might have been real. And how he got here, I'm not okay with. Mary was a child. Sorry, that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't care if it was God's will. I want you to put yourself in that little girl's shoes. More than likely, it wasn't divine IVF. More than likely, someone hurt that little girl. So, then how does Jesus come about and have all these powers? Well, imagine if you were in utero and the whole world thinks that you're the Messiah. And that's all you've ever been told from the second, even before you were born. Imagine that energy and that love to know that you're carrying something so special. Imagine. Just imagine the care and the attention and the love that would be poured into this child because they're so special. What do you think would happen? Probably would turn into someone like Jesus. See, and in the Bible, I'm not questioning all the magical shit that he did. Turning wine or water into wine, that's great. I'm not questioning that. I'm not questioning that he walked on water. I'm not questioning that he healed people. I'm not questioning any of that. What I have a problem with is, why did we use a child? Why do we praise this? Why are we covering up what this really was? Oh, back in the day, it was just different. No, God is all knowing. I am sorry. He knew we would be looking back at this. And as society, he would know that's not right. And as society now, we should not be praising that. That's wrong. That is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. I don't care how you slice it. And so it's like, okay, maybe these stories weren't actually real. Because when you start tearing this apart, you start tearing the Bible apart, you start going backwards, you start finding out there's other stories that way predate the Bible. And they're quite similar, but it's like these stories are older. But the only difference is the ones in the Bible went viral and stuck. That's what happened. That's literally what happened. There's all these different things. And I think also the King James, I believe, version is really twisted. You should do your research on how that one came about. It's not good. And it's patriarchy. It's all misogynistically praised. And that's all that it is. And I know, because I lived it. That's why I know. That's why I speak out and say, no, I don't agree with this. And, you know, I told God so many times, I was like, I stayed in my marriage for 17 years because I thought God was going to send me to hell. And there's so many women that think that. And I know other women that think that. So I was like, I'm going to decode this until I figure it out. And I did. I figured it out. And God's like, is that me? I'm like, no. Now, I don't even know if it's like, you know, he's also showing me that women are so capable. See, my whole life, I've never thought I was capable. I've always felt less than. I felt like I needed a man because I needed a home. I needed kids. I needed a partner. I needed money. I needed these things outside of myself. But I don't need any of that. I have it all myself, and I'm doing better than I ever did with any man. So that should tell you everything you need to know. And now, see, these guys are like, oh, it's not a flex. It's not a flex. What's not a flex? That I can pay my own bills? So? What are you so upset about? And now these guys are like, oh, if I see a girl who her Instagram or her stories are all full of her traveling and fancy meals and designer bags, like, that's a turnoff, ladies. You need to stop that. That's disgusting. Men don't want to see that. We don't care what you want. I'm not a pick-me. I don't need anybody. If you want to be in my life, you're going to have to show up and be respectful. and kind. I'm not here to serve you. I'm not here to make your dinner and do your fucking laundry. It ain't happening. Sorry, I'm not interested. Keep moving. Go find a different one. And we know, yes, you're this, you're a man-hater. I'm not a man-hater. I have 3 sons. And they have girlfriends. So, I don't want to hear it. Look, I'm just saying, you men need to learn to get over your fears and get over your jealousies and your insecurities. Whatever it is, it's got to do with something in your childhood. Something happened in your childhood. You don't need to make it public. You just need to go within and figure out what it is and acknowledge it. And you need to acknowledge that you were a little kid. A lot of men have a problem doing that. You guys can't remember that you were a tiny, innocent child. Think about your kids. You were that small once. You were 1 day old, 2 days old, just a defenseless baby. Imagine if nobody protected you, what would have happened? You would have died because you had to be dependent. And while you were dependent, something happened. Something hurt you and you got to go fix it. It's probably just sitting there like old furniture. And you've probably rehearsed it 1,000 times in your head. Mine was, my older sister tried to drown me when I was 3. Yeah. And my parents acted like it didn't happen. They said I was lying. My sister said I was lying. She is, by the way, 11 years older than me. So she was like 13 or 14 at the time. I was 3. And she tried to drown me. And I remember the whole thing like it was yesterday. No joke. Like, it is burned into my head like it was yesterday. I remember the parking lot. I remember my bathing suit. I remember everything. The bubbles under the water. My mom had a set of twins, my sister and brother. So they were babies. They were laying on the bed when we went, and I told her. And I think my dad was getting out of the shower or coming out of the bathroom or something. And I told my mom, like, she pushed me in. She held me under. She's like, no, she fell and she's lying. And my mom just was like, oh, be quiet. Now, my mom did this to my older sister when I was born, and now my mom was doing it to me now that the twins were born. And my dad, I'm my dad's oldest. My sister is his stepdaughter. So, hot mess. All kinds of trauma. My mom was narcissistic, and I know why. She went through foster care. Everything was a mess. She hated me when I was growing up. She absolutely despised me. She was very jealous of me, and she was just so angry. Like, her blood would just boil anytime, like, she had to deal with me. I was of just nuisance to her. And yeah, I think that's just, what a mess. But yeah, so anyway, enough about all that. I just thought I would get on here and kind of start posting a lot of videos because I think I know what I'm going to do with my channel. I've been working through this. I've been down in the religious hole. I've been all over. I have a podcast, and I've been just sorting this out and deconstructing very slowly. I'm sure I have a lot more to go, so this is just happening in real time. But I really think I want to help men and women like decenter relationships and decenter this marriage stuff and start focusing on themselves, especially women, because they are very much taught in the Bible that they need to search for their husband. That is what women are taught from a very young age, that they are shit without men, and we need to stop that. And I need to help women that are still in their pick-me phase to get over and get out of that. I want women who want to thrive. I want to help them because I can't help the other ones. The ones that want to stay male-centered, that's just where they are. And they don't want to hear it. And that's okay. It's hard. It's really hard. It's hard to get away from it. It's hard, especially when you're just that deep, when you're that traumatized and that messed up. You know what I mean? So that's something that I really do want to help with. And I'm thinking, okay, how can I help? Obviously talking and sharing just random videos. My tribe will find it. That's all I have to say. My tribe will find it. So I'm just going to post when I feel like it. I'm just going to go on these rants. I don't edit. I don't really do whatever, but I do tarot. And I was thinking, I hate doing love readings. Like, they've always just made my skin crawl. They've got a place. I get it. Those are the people that's their path. That's their thing. But I want to do like anti-love readings. I want to you. I don't want relationship anything. I want it to be you getting over whatever your fears are within yourself that you will not let go of, and let's heal the trauma. Let's heal the fears. Let's heal the anxieties and get rid of the shackles. A big one for me was religion. I I was given religion when I was born. I never examined it for myself and was like, why do I believe this? I believe this because this is what I've always been told. And I just don't believe that anymore. We're smarter humans now. We have more evidence of different things. And like I said, some of these stories of the Bible that we're finding that were removed and things. And I'm like, this sounds way more logical than anything else. And it's full of mystical stuff. That's the weird thing. I don't feel like I'm being lied to. I don't feel like I'm being, manipulated. I feel like I'm getting the entire truth when I read some of this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, this makes way more sense to me because I've gone through a spiritual awakening. Tarot is really where it happened. And that's why I believe in it. And you can use it as a mirror and you can use it as a guide if you use it correctly. And I was open to it and it happened and it resonated so deep within my soul. And I'm like, I would love to help other people overcome their issues and their problems. I would love to help men and women for that matter, understand that their shadow isn't anything to be upset about. As soon as you understand that you are who you are. See, this is the thing. The religion taught me forgiveness. It taught me patience. It taught me understanding. It taught me we're all the same, and we all get these, how we can get full of ourselves and how not to chase money and materialistic things and all this, right? There's a lot of really good things in there, but here's the deal. The church and the Christians don't let you cherry pick out of the Bible. You have to accept all of it. You have to accept all of it. And when you go, wait a minute, why do I have to accept this bad behavior? Why are we impregnating a child? Why would God do that? Because the God I know would not do that. So put yourself in that little girl's shoes. Oh, you were chosen. Oh, this is a great thing. No, it's not. It never was. And don't say, oh, it was different. No, the whole thing falls apart. I will never be supportive of that. And if you think that God wants you to be supportive of that, then I think you need to ask yourself a few questions. Because I don't think so. It kind of falls apart. Take what you need from it and leave. And it's like, okay, I don't have to perform. I don't have to fast. Whatever. I talk to God with my eyes open. I talk to God when I'm driving. I have the best prayers and conversations with God when I'm driving. So this whole bow your head thing is control. It's like a performance. They want to see you perform it. That's what the book is, and it's just a book. And that's how I see it. It's just a book. It's just a book of some dudes that wrote it. And the King James Version is really messed up. So yeah, I'm good. I'm over it. So I don't know. I don't know what comes next, but I feel like it's good, whatever it is. And I'm excited to explore it. It's a little scary because I don't know people who are not religious, really. I don't know anyone. Everyone I know is religious. That's how religious, that was my life. I was that hard of a believer. It's so weird. And now that I'm a, backsliding heathen, I don't know. I don't know where my people are. It's weird. Anyway, I guess I'll make it off of here for now, and we'll talk soon. Bye.